And yeah, that's because on times like that, it's the other way around. The server thinks I got tipped, but my client doesn't. I initially was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should go with like a combination of both. Like, maybe I should count myself as getting hit when I see one of the flames disappear into me, but there are a couple of things about that. Firstly, that's just annoying to have to, like, keep track of that myself, and, like, there are some times where it might be ambiguous. What if the dragon's trying to shoot me and it's firing more or less straight down at that particular point in time? So, yeah, I could make excuses, argue all that, but really, it's more just the fact that, like, if I'm already, if one of the server and the client is already checking, why bother adding like 2 layers of annoyance? Like, this would have worked in LU Live, and yeah, there is something holding me to a standard. They happen to not be the same standard between the client and the server, but that doesn't matter as long as they're still, each is as strict as the other. And because they're both as strict as one another, like there's no reason to go for one over the other than the fact that the client one's kind of not optional. Sorry, the server one's not optional, whereas the client one, well, you don't get smashed if you get hit on your client, only, at least by projectiles. Not 100% certain what happens when the client thinks you've been hit by something else, but the server doesn't. I guess that's not an edge case that can normally come up, because normally it is the server deciding that an attack is being done to you. Like, because there's an enemy there, so like there's no projectile that you have to do collision detection with. It is, there is an enemy nearby. I am saying it is dealing damage to you. It has dealt damage to you. The client now has to handle that, but so I guess that's the reason this only ever happens with projectiles. It's because projectiles are the only things that care about, or it's only with projectiles that we really care about player position on the client side. And that's just because they have to react more quickly. Kind of messed that up, but made a quick turnaround. Yeah, so we've had one incredibly successful attempt. It's fine. Already. Yeah, I just went for 2 there because, for the obvious reasons, I was already on the back foot. Where I got within such a small amount of damage from winning. It's not funny, but then I lost concentration. Which is what will probably happen to this run. I nearly did there. Nearly didn't run away in time. So yeah, there might be faster ways of doing this. And I'll be interested to see, because yeah, this would genuinely be a fairly interesting speedrun to see what people would do, because I do think it's a speedrun would mostly come down to routing, and then after that, it would come down to an incredible amount of consistency, and like, I don't think anyone cares enough about that. But I'd be very interested to see people route this out, because this is like the easiest route I can see. But it does not, is likely not to be the only one. Like, I'm wasting a lot of time avoiding the 4 flames, and if you come off a different or better way of dodging those, wow, multiple things happen there, then yeah, that would potentially be a significant time save over what I'm doing. So, breakdown of what happened in that instance. There were a couple of things going by, which are kind of boring. The interesting thing that happened was that I lost a double jump, and the reason I lost the double jump was because, like, the fire, I think maybe it might have been like it was the client, not the server, something like that, where the fire, oh, that's right, lost concentration there, where the fire hit me, but it didn't, I guess it didn't hit me on the server. And because of that, it spawned in a small invisible physics object, and that happened directly above my head, which meant that, because it hit me on my head, which meant that I then, yeah, couldn't double jump upwards because there was something directly above me. Which, it's not an edge case that comes up often, but if you want to find edge cases, you could do worse than attempt consistency challenges. Because, okay, consistency challenges, they're not, it depends at what stage, it depends how much a game has been researched. Obviously, like, consistency challenges, you're doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. That is Einstein's definition of madness. However, if the game has been heavily researched, then realistically, you're not going to find anything incredibly obvious. And the best way to notice something that isn't obvious is to be doing a consistency challenge, because there you get incredibly used to exactly to everything that should be happening. You get used to picking up on all the tiny things. And therefore you're far more likely to notice if something weird happens. And also, yeah, very importantly, far more likely to know exactly what you were doing at that point in time, and therefore far more likely to be able to replicate it. Because it's not just noticing it, it's also, yeah, working out how to replicate what happens. So although it wasn't a consistency challenge, that jump I was doing where I discovered a ground pound bug when I was climbing something on someone's property, the reason I noticed that was because I was doing the same jump over and over again, and then eventually something weird happened. In fairness, I think anyone would have noticed that, but the challenge was, yeah, working out how to reproduce it. Okay, don't choke. Again. It's not the first time we've done so. Oh, it's so nearly ran back too soon there. Okay. Let's get one of these. Okay, go, 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 go. There we are. GG. I'd call that a success. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Ninja You. I'll see you around. Bye.